Bill, what's the deal, man? Yo, peak game though. I didn't even realize it, but this week is Virgil Ortiz versus Kavalauskas, man. I seen Red. Shout out my man Red. Everybody know who Red is, but I seen him make a little Insta story on his Facebook, pretty much saying Kavalauskas ain't no pushover. This ain't no tune-up. Like, this is a legitimate threat. And I couldn't agree more with the bro. Like, Virgil Ortiz is in immediate danger for going out and losing this fight. He's in immediate danger for going out and losing this fight, man. Can he deal with the patience of a Kavalauskas, man? Because I've said it before. Usually when you're that much of an underdog going into a fight, you're a lot more eager to go in there and gain your opponent's respect. Like, even if you don't, you go in there, you're already at a disadvantage because nobody really knows who you are. So you have that working against you, where you can't even lose a round. You can't lose a round. You can't even afford to have a swing round because they're more than likely going to give it to the champ. None of that shit seemed to rattle him. He was poised and composed early on in the fight. Till like the early mid rounds, he was extremely poised, and you can see that that bothered Bud. That bothered him. It's like, why isn't this dude not opening up and, you know what I'm saying, giving me opportunities to counter him and start to compute his patterns and his habits and everything? Why isn't he opening up? You can see that had some sort of effect on Bud, because nobody is that eager, nobody is that poised when they facing those type of odds. And for him to be cool, calm, and collected and be like, nah, I'll lead when I'm ready to lead, and at this moment I'm chilling. That had a profound effect on my man Bud, bro. Like, I'm like, this shit is ridiculous, bro. Look at this, because I didn't watch the fight with him and Sugar Ray Robinson. That was literally my first time seeing him fight. And I thought Bud was gonna go in there and crash that nigga, and it did not. Well, he stopped him. But you dig? I just thought it was gonna be a flawless victory type fight, and this dude was like, he kind of had, he kind of had Bud uncomfortable. Early on, of course. Early on. And I don't want to say he forced Bud outside of his fighting identity, because Bud is just a nigga who fight in the street. Like, like, Bud is the epitome of a fighter. That nigga loves to fight. He loves it. So the minute he was put in that scenario where it was like, all right, cool, this is what I want right here, you got me fucked up. Everybody just expecting, they already think I'm too small for the division. They don't think I'm strong enough. And you gonna come in here and do that shit to me, and motherfuckers are screaming a knockdown? You gotta come see me now. So it was just pedal to the metal, front foot dominant, front foot fighting all fight. You dig? But he brung that out of Bud. He brung out the stubbornness in Bud. He brung out the fact that Bud completely ignored the instructions of his corner and Bomac. Stop standing in the pocket. Stop standing in front of him. Bud, fuck all that, nigga. Kavalauskas did that. Kavalauskas got in that man's head. You dig? Like, that's a testament to how good this dude really is. It's a testament to it. So I don't think Virgil Ortiz is about to go in here and just beat on this dude. I think Virgil Ortiz is literally at risk of losing this fight. I really like, dude. I think he's at. This is a huge step up. Because though it was a step, Maurice Hooker was a step up. He was a former world champion. That was most definitely a step up. Nonetheless, he wasn't a champion at 147. That was his introduction fight into the division. And Hooker was able to touch him a lot. I'm sure Robert Garcia, you know, they've tightened up that defense or whatever, man. I'd be lying if I said that they, you know, he's not about to just sit up there and just give, you know, go through the ringer like that early on in his career. All right, cool. We see what it is you need to do or what you need to work on, and we're gonna give you the tools to work on it. So I most definitely expect a more, you know, defensively responsible fighter in Virgil Ortiz on Saturday. However, I think Kavalauskas places his punches together a lot better than Maurice Hooker. And clearly, you can't bait him into a scenario in which he's not privy to. You can't do that. If Bud couldn't do it, Virgil Ortiz is not going to be able to do it. He's not. That man, I said that everything, like, while the fight was happening, I'm like, the patience on this dude is just, this is ridiculous. This is fucking civil rights movement sit-in patience right here. You dig? That shit was remarkable to me. Yeah, because he couldn't get dude off of his square. That cannot be ignored. That cannot be ignored. And I think Virgil Ortiz has you know, he has more skill. As far, you know, he has the faster feet. Yeah, I think he has a better array of punches, faster hands. I think the patience of a Kavalauskas, because I guarantee you was gonna, because he knows what's in front of him, and I think he's like, I want that Bud rematch. I want a rematch. He's working towards that. When somebody is working towards that, that's cause to pause right there. I said it in my last video, man. Manny Pacquiao is working towards a Floyd Mayweather fight. You cannot tell him he's not getting a rematch with Floyd. You can't tell him that. Even though it's more than likely not ever going to happen. You can't tell him that, though. But because of that, that's giving him a hunger that's tantamount to his, you know, his younger years. And it's the same with Kavalauskas. He wants a Bud rematch. That hunger and competitive drive and just, I gotta right that wrong. That's gonna be enough in itself to ensure that this is gonna be a competitive fight. I don't think this is no motherfucking walk in the park, man. And salute to him for doing that, man. Like, I mean, it's a lot of people who say Jaron Ennis is, you know, he would beat the shit out of Virgil Ortiz. I'm not too sure of that. I'm not too sure of that in general. I think the biggest Jaron Ennis in the now, the thing that would set them apart is his switch hitting ability. It's his switch hitting ability. But the thing is, he has not sharpened those tools against the caliber of competition that Virgil Ortiz is doing it with. I mean, Sergey Lipinets was a good win for him. It was, you know, a step up fight. It was a good win for him. It was a good win, but you dig, he towers over Lipinets. He's way bigger than Lipinets. He's way bigger than Lipinets. When you look at Maurice Hooker, him and Maurice Hooker are damn near eye to eye. And Maurice Hooker's fucking arm reaches as long as these street lights out here. So he had a lot to deal with. Like those are irregular arms. That dude has like an 80-inch fucking reach. How the fuck is that possible on a 5'9" nigga, man? Like, that shit is scary, man. That's hard to stand in front of. A motherfucker can hit you from one turnbuckle to the next. My nigga, like, stop playing games. Bro, that shit crazy, bro. How the fuck you deal with some shit like that? You're gonna eat a lot of leather on the way in. But like I said, Maurice Hooker, you can bait him into a firefight. You can bait him into a firefight. You can't do that with Kavalauskas, man. That man is extremely poised. He's poised, he's patient. That right there, that told me a lot. That was very telling and alarming for anybody who's gonna get in the ring with him. I didn't watch the fight, his next fight after he lost to Bud. I didn't watch that one either. I got to go back and do some film study on Kavalauskas, but I've watched him and Bud a few times, and just I'll never get over how composed he was in the fight facing those insurmountable odds. You can't afford to be that patient in a fight where you're already the underdog in. You're going up against a pound-for-pound caliber fight. You're going up against a pound-for-pound fighter, a champion, visibly known, you know, to boxing heads, known as the most skilled boxer in the division, in the sport, but in the division. And you're performing like this. You're comfortable. You're poised. You're patient. And you're not leading the way. You're not allowing him to compute, download your information before you're ready to start before you're ready to start going on land, going in. And Bud tried to bait him, and it just didn't work like that. It didn't work like that. Bud wasn't really throwing nothing with no sting on it. It was just him trying to bait him. Let me throw out this throwaway punch so you can try and counter, and I can counter your counter. It didn't work like that early on. It didn't work like that. It was causing frustration to a very vague degree. I'm not saying that he got under Bud's skin to the point where Bud was completely rattled, but it did catch him off guard. It did catch him off guard for a motherfucker to go into a fight in which that you're the underdog in, and you hold your composure like that. That's, what else can you say about that? You dig? So yeah, all in all, this is not no, I think this is a 50-50 fight. I think this is a 50-50 fight, and I'm high up on Jaron Ennis, but I'm like, bro, you gotta get busy, and you gotta step up the competition. You got to, man. You over there on PBC, man, go holla at motherfucking, I said it in another video, man, Josecito Lopez or something, man. Somebody of that ilk. Somebody of that ilk. And even then, that he's not key against kavalauskas. He's not. You're not gonna get out of Josecito Lopez what you can get fighting a fighter of he gets kavalauskas. Kavalauskas is a fucking contender. Even when he fought Bud, he was top 10 in that sanction, in the WBO sanctioned body. So you can't get that from a Josecito Lopez. But Josecito Lopez is a far better it's a far better gauge than a Sergey Lipinets. It's a far better gauge to see where you at. So I'm high up on Jaron Ennis, but he does have to step up the level of competition in which he's fighting. Because Virgil Ortiz is on a mission. He keeps calling out Bud. I don't care if I'm ready. I don't care if I'm not ready. I want to fight. I want to fight Bud. Cool. I think that's dope. I think that's dope. And the fact that he's acknowledging, I don't care if I know I'm not ready, but I just, like I said before, man, let me get in here and fight a man of this magnitude. Not only is that going to boost my experience level, I'll be able, I can really have my flaws highlighted in a fight against Terrence Crawford. I can have all of my flaws highlighted. So by the time I fight another opponent, I done fought the best of the 147-pound division. I mean, shit. What else, my nigga? What else is there to do? Cool. Like, he showed me everything that I need work on. And we're about to go and work on, iron out all this shit. So after I get out of the ring with Bud, that instantaneously makes me a better fighter. It would take somebody years and years and years of grinding to get to a fight, to want to fight Bud. People fight them, those type of caliber competition when they're close to being ready for the fight, when they're more seasoned for the fight. He's like, no, I want that shit right now. I can't even be mad at that, because it's not, Bud isn't. He's not like he's not like a high. He's not a fighter in which it's they don't. A lot of people are just now coming to want to fight him because they're no longer champions. It's not like you realize he ain't called out Earl Spence, was far more of a sell, and more than likely, he's a more sellable fighter. You know, he's fighting on pay-per-view. Bud ain't fighting on pay-per-view. He can't sell a pay-per-view by himself. So the fact that he's like, that's who I want to fight. He sees this. He sees that's the type of individual that's going to bring the best out of me. Because he's the best in the division. I can respect that. I can thoroughly respect that. He's working towards that goal, man. So Kavalauskas is working towards a rematch with Bud, and Virgil Ortiz is working towards a fight with Bud. They both want it. It's about who now is going to be about who wants it more. And I think this is a 50-50 fight. A 50-50 fight. And I think if Virgil Ortiz keeps fighting fighters like this, he's gonna put himself in a position where he's better. You can't dispute whether who's better between him and Jaron Ennis. You can't. You can't, because I see things that Jaron Ennis does that Virgil Ortiz does better. I see it. Just like I see things in Jaron Ennis that he does better than Virgil Ortiz. I think that's a damn good fight. I think they're both, you know, they're neck and neck as far as skill is concerned, man. But, you know, I've seen people say resume matters, resume doesn't matter. And I'm like, that's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, man. When you talk about a resume, who you fight and who you put your skill set up against matters. That shit matters. If you are fighting the best the division has to offer, normally in most cases, I'm going to edge the motherfucker who's been in with the better, more seasoned and more sharper fighters. I'm going to edge them because they put their skills up against the best the division has to offer. Resume matters. Resume matters, and when you're fit, you know, Virgil Ortiz is a pup in the game. He's a pup. This kid is a pup, and he's hungry. And he's not. And he's like, I'm not about to waste no time. You know, tomorrow ain't promised. And at any given moment in this game, you can get, you know, you can get completely have one of your motor skills completely neutralized. So if I'm gonna do this, let me go down as one of the greats in it. And he has certain goals he's working towards, man. As a 22 and 23 and 24-year-old man, that's dope. That shit lit, man. Shout out Virgil Ortiz. I think the kid has tremendous upside, but goddamn it, he is in a fight come Saturday. And can't nobody tell me opposite. Ain't nobody tell me opposite. And I look forward to that shit. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it, man. So, yeah. I would like to know who y'all got and who y'all think will win this fight. And if Virgil Ortiz, if him and Jaron Ennis was the fight today, would Jaron Ennis just waltz all over Virgil Ortiz? Because I personally don't think that. I personally don't think that, man. I don't. He has the better opposition in front of him. He's fought the better opposition. And he's going to be clear. He's going to be head and shoulders above him as far as competition is concerned. Come Saturday. It's like, yo, it's not even just debatable who's fought the better of the two. Who's fought the better opposition of the two. So I love what I'm saying for Jaron Ennis, but he does have to step up his opponents. Because Sergey Lipinets ain't enough. That's how I'm feeling about that shit though, man. Peace.